This is the 2007 Nerf N-Strike Disc Shot Launcher, and I would argue that it is one of the most fun products Nerf has ever put out in its entire existence. If you've never seen this and you're like, Bubba, what does it do? It's basically a skeet shooting system, but for Nerf. What you do is you plug it into the wall, you put this fun little iron sight remote onto your blaster, and with the punch of the launch button, it revs up and it shoots these foam and plastic discs up into the air for you to shoot at. It holds 6 discs, so they just launch one after another, and it can shoot to the left, it can shoot to the right, it can shoot straight up, or if you're feeling funky fresh, you can make it go in a random pattern and just shoot whenever. It's to really test your reflexes, or if you're not up to randomize, don't know where it's gonna go, reflex shooting just yet, you can always put the little indicator up so you know where it's gonna go. It is such a blast, and I've always had fun playing with it when I've gotten to play with one. The problem with them is the availability. They're not rare, they're not super expensive, they go for about the same MSRP as they did when they were first released. Problem is that they don't always have the parts needed to function properly. Sometimes they're missing the wall wart or come with the wrong wall wart like this one did, and you need it in order to power the whole thing because it does not run on batteries. The one I got with this is double the voltage, but half the amperage needed to really make this thing work like it should. Sometimes it doesn't come with disc, which you need to shoot into the air. Sometimes it doesn't come with the pusher arm on the back that pushes the disc into the flywheels to launch up into the air. And sometimes it doesn't come with the remote, which is needed to launch the discs. So it's really big mishmash of stuff on eBay to really sort through. So you don't always find these in full functioning form. But if you're interested in experiencing this, maybe Nerf has your back because they just released the Nerf Skeet Shot Disc Launcher. A rebranding, a reimagining, an upgrade to the old system? I want to find out. And so far the box is much smaller. So don't know how to feel about that right off the bat, but we're gonna see if it can live up to my nostalgia hype that I have for this thing and do a comparison between the two. Should you buy the new or should you try and get all the parts for the old? That's what we're gonna find out, so let's dig in. There are only 3 things inside the box: the disc launcher itself, 10 foam discs, and the instruction manual. You'll have to go out and buy 4 D-cell batteries in order for this thing to work. Before I take the launchers outside and do a little head-to-head performance comparison between them, let's talk about some similarities and differences, because obviously there's some stuff going on between these two. Right off the bat, one is bigger than the other, not only in terms of the launcher size, but also the disc size, which I think is one of the really important differences between the two, and I'll get to that in just a bit. The old disc shooter has this really cool N-Strike futuristic look to it that I really like. Looks fun, looks interesting. The new one is just Elite 2.0, and while clean, it just does not compare. One of the similarities between the two, though, is the difference in how they're powered. It'll make sense in just a second. So the new guy is powered off of D-cells and D-cells only, which will cost you in the long run. The old one is powered off of a power cord. This guy does not run off of a power cord, and the old one does not run off of batteries, which is really weird. You would think they would do both. It's the future, it's the now times. Why does this not take a power cord? So if you lose your batteries, you just go out and buy more batteries, right? If you lose your power cord, you're kind of screwed until you find a power cord that is similar to this. And if you find one that's, a bit off in spec, it's not going to perform as well. But you really need to keep the power cord with you in order to use this one. This one is just going to cost you more in the long run with D-cell batteries, which is kind of lame. Really should have come with a power cord. Another similarity is how they load. On the back of your old disc shot and on the back of the new one, you see these two things right here. On your old disc shot, you take your disc, you lower this spring-powered arm back, you put the disc in, and the arm keeps pressure on the disc to push them forward into the flywheels. On the new one, you have this door right here that has this annoying latch that you have to get to, and there's a little spring-loaded doohickey right here. Not as powerful, but I'm guessing it does work. You take 5 discs and you put them into the back right here, and then you close the door and it's ready to go. Another similarity in terms of safeties and function is that they both have a safety on the bottom, so this has to be on the ground in order for it to shoot up. Another similarity between the two are the buttons on the front. You got your power button, you have your mode button, and you have your launching power button, which is how it works. You turn it on, you choose how far you want the disc to shoot up in the air, and you can choose between how you want this thing to shoot, whether it goes straight up, left or right, or all crazy like with the random mode. But let's talk about the two big differences between these two that really affect how I feel about the performance of these before I even take them outside and try them out head to head. The big one in terms of utility and function has to do with this guy. This is the remote to use this disc launcher. You put on your blaster, you select your stuff down here to what you want it to be, then you go off to where you want to stand to shoot your targets, you press the launch button and it starts doing its thing. Easy, simple, whatever. This guy, you have to do everything up at the front and then walk back to where you want to go within the time period before it starts launching, and then it'll give you a countdown and start going, which I feel is just such a worse way of doing things than having everything already done and just pushing a button to get it to go. Having to like walk back to where you need to be before you start shooting just feels like a hassle. It doesn't get you prepared. Like you don't have time to really set up, get your stance going before these things start launching. It's a small feature difference, but to me it's really big in just the utility of these. And the biggest difference comes down to the disc size. Like I mentioned earlier, there is a difference in the size of the discs. And to me, this is one of the biggest points of potential fun that you will have with these disc launchers. First of all, it's quite a big difference between the two. The old disc launcher uses this nice bright yellow, relatively good sized disc. It's not huge, but it's not small. It's a little bit smaller than my hand. It's a bit smaller than my face, but it has an ease of hitability to it that I like. It's gonna take a bit of skill, a bit of luck in order to hit it, but it does not compare to this guy. This disc I can only see causing problems. Again, I have not taken it out yet, so I could be wrong, but this is way too small. If you have children, and even if you're an adult, with the type of ammo that you're shooting out of Nerf darts, especially if you're someone who doesn't know about AF Pros or better third-party dart types and you just buy what's on the shelf, I see a miserable time in trying to hit these with like elite darts because we know they're not very accurate. So just the difference in stress level while playing with these, this is so much more elevated. Theoretically, I feel like this is way higher elevated than this. Just the disc size is ridiculous. I don't know why Hasbro, Nerf, and Jazzwares, the people who helped make this, went with such a small disc size. It's night and day. But maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. Maybe this is somehow easier to hit. I don't know. But let's go outside, put these two head to head, and just see how they perform against each other. Let's go. I won't bore you with footage of the disc shooting one by one, so here's how everything lines up. The old disc shooter can be rather inconsistent and doesn't shoot very high even on the highest power setting, and we let it rev up plenty before each shot. Compared to the new disc launcher, it's day and night. Some of the newer discs almost went out of the frame going nearly 10 feet in the air at an angle, which I was extremely impressed by. You'll have plenty of air time to line up your shot and hopefully hit the target with it. One question that I know is going to be brought up is how durable are both sets of discs? And that's why we're going to do a point blank test using a Ruffian in some Dart Zone Pro darts. So maybe we'll do it a couple times depending, but here we go. I'm going to aim for the center here. Let's do it again. I'm going to try and aim for the same spot here. We'll do one more to make it a 3-dart test. And the newer discs. Ooh, and with one shot, we have the dart going through the disc. Let's do 2 more. The older disc put up a great fight against the Ruffian with none of the darts penetrating through. If it can handle a high-powered Springer up close, you should have no worries about your darts piercing through the target, unless you're using something real crazy. The newer disc, however, is much easier to puncture, but I don't think there's too much to worry about if you're like 10 or 20 feet away from the target, but it is something to keep in mind. All right, here we go. This is gonna be hard. That was close. This is a challenge. If two grown men can't hit it, no one can. You gotta be kidding me. This is infuriating. Never gonna hit it.
All right, I'm gonna try to hit one.
You got this.
If we get 1 out of 10, I'll consider it a success.
There we go. Oh!
I promise we don't suck. It's the size of the disc. No! Oh, come on, uno mas. We suck, Ray.
Can we hit it from closer? Ah! I hit myself. I don't know how that... And you hit it.
No.
Oh,
are you kidding me?
Close.
If I miss 4 shots, I'm going point blank.
You're just looking at this.
Yeah! Whoa! Whoa!
You got more, you got more.
No! I don't care.
You got more, come on.
Oh! 15 feet. You know, real combat range.
Ah, you got 2 though. One more.
Oh, one more?
One more.
Can I get 3?
Time to shoot ye old one. Here we go. Yeah. Oh man, buddy. Whoa!
Ooh, nice.
You're doing a great job, chicken.
Thanks. I'm really tired. I'm out of shape. Oh, nice. One more.
Nice shot.
I did. I'm going for like 3 darts per disc.
There you go.
I missed them all.
Did I hit it? Wow, seeing the darts go around it in a circle is annoying.
Movies where the fighter jet goes dodges on the bullets. That's what it looked like.
Wow, I didn't even hit it. Chicken, what did you think about these? How would you compare them?
How would I compare them? So the original one was, I believe, the first Nerf disc launcher, target launcher kind of thing. And I think it was good for its time. Through our practicing today, we found it to be a little bit inconsistent with its old age. Every other shot, it jammed. The disc launcher remote itself had very small range. Every time you press the button, you had to run out of the way to make sure you didn't get hit. I like the size of the targets themselves. The launch height could have been a little bit more consistent, but overall, I think it was good for what it was at first. And now, like 20 years later, we finally get an upgrade for all you people who wanted one. So this functionality-wise, I think it's really cool. I like how it shoots up really high. The size of the targets is so small that it's definitely an extra challenge. It kind of makes me a little curious as to who this was marketed for. You know, the epic snipers or the, you know, like, from our experience, the spray and pray doesn't actually do very well.
At least you can't tell if you hit it.
Yeah, you can't tell if you hit it. I know for a fact I'm going to use this as a carnival game at a Nerf War I host. I think the random is cool. I just wish it was a little faster. It seems easy to use. Overall, I like it. If it was a little cheaper, I'd definitely pick one up myself. But if you want some fun target practice, yeah, I'd recommend it.
And that's where I stand on this as well. The only real complaints I have come down to features that I wish they implemented into this thing, like a power cord option, so you don't have to buy batteries all the time to play with this. So if you have an outlet always accessible, you can just run it off of that. But if you're taking it somewhere, like out to a field or into your backyard, you can use batteries when the time comes for it. Another feature that I think would have been awesome for this is a remote just like with the old disc launcher. If there was a remote that could change all the options and launch the discs up, that would have been super duper stellar and would have made this so much better. But the main thing really is just larger discs. If this thing used slightly larger discs and easier to hit target, would have been stellar to do. But even if it's missing some of the features that I think would heighten this to a whole new level, this thing was so much fun to play with. We were outside for about an hour having a blast with it. The price tag might be a bit steep for some of you. It's about $40, but the replayability and just the amount of fun that you'll have with it makes it absolutely worth it. And I see both Nerfers and non-Nerfers alike enjoying themselves with it. Even like the hardcore Nerfers will have fun with this. Put it even further back, make it really hard to hit if you're using like a Nerf sniper, you know? And if you have non-Nerfers that you know, they'll have fun with it too. Say you got relatives coming over for the weekend or a holiday, pull this thing out, see if grandma can hit all the discs out of the air. Might even make for a fun drinking game, I don't know. Kids will enjoy this, even if it might get a little frustrating trying to hit these tiny little guys out of the air, but it's just so much fun. I absolutely recommend it. If you want to get your hands on it, I'll have a link down in the description to where you can buy it. Thanks to my old pal Flying Chicken for joining me in this video, and thanks to you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and have a great day wherever, come on, you are. There we go. I got it. I don't know, check the back. You should see a black. So, all right. Oh, one of the dangers of the old model is getting your face obliterated by discs.
Did you know that?
I didn't. Wow.
An accident.
Nerf was dangerous back in the day.
Forget plug tightens.
Oh no, they're gonna have to recall it like the recon.